Good to be back. Again, just coming off a tough loss versus Louisiana. We got back early on Wednesday morning and turned the page to Coastal Carolina. So we had a great week of practice so far. Our guys are excited to play back here in the Rock in front of our crowds, and it's something we're looking forward to. Got a great opponent coming in here in Coastal Carolina, and Coach has done a great job with their program, but we're more focused on us and ready to play on Wednesday evening.
Sean, you mentioned coming off the game at Louisiana, and it's an experience that most of these guys have never had in terms of kind of a multi-possession loss. How would you describe the kind of the demeanor of the team? You mentioned turning the page. Do you really feel like everybody's kind of past it? Hey, we've learned the lessons from it, and now we're 100% focused on Coastal?
Yeah, without question. That was a tough loss, and I say this all the time that coaches lose games and players win games, and it didn't go our way. Again, you have to give Louisiana a lot of credit. But our guys were eager to get back. We got here, gave them a day off on Wednesday, and really got back into practice mode. And I have to give our kids a lot of credit. The way they came back and practice this week's been exceptional. And again, they're ready to get the bad taste out of their mouth and put a good product in the football field. And so that's where we are right now.
I'm kind of curious, just my observation of the game at Louisiana. There were some things that were just a little bit off, it felt like all night. Throws that you guys have been completing during the season that weren't quite there, some mistakes on some turnovers and those kinds of things. There were more tactical, kind of executional things. When it comes to really trying to engineer those out of not only their minds but out of the game, what are the things you guys do to go about helping to eliminate some of those kinds of errors?
Well, I think it starts with offense. You can't turn the football over 4 times and win any game in college football. And we did a study this past week, and if you did not win the turnover battle, you lost 82% of your games this past weekend in college football. So I think it starts there with that, and we can't turn the football over to have a chance to win. And then defense would do a better job of stopping those guys on long drives. And it's you have to have a quick. You have to let this game go. We can't sit here and keep talking about Louisiana. That game's gone. You can't get it back. And it starts with the head football coach, and it goes down to the assistant coaches. But I'm very proud of where our coaches came out and coached this week. They came out and coached with a lot of energy. Our players fed off that, and I think that's what we had to get done to move on. I mean, that game's gone. The good thing is we hold all of our goals are in front of us to win the East, and we're tied with Coastal at first place right now. And again, whoever wins this game will come out, will be in the driver's seat. So we had a short memory and moved on and ready to start to play again.
So this is basically Thursday on a normal week. I would expect you would have a pretty good idea of where the health status of the team stands. A few guys came back home banged up. Where do you feel like things are, and how confident are you about guys that will or won't go on Wednesday?
We had a lot of guys back in practice yesterday, which was good. Caleb Dawson's been ruled out. But the rest of the guys will be a game-time decision. Cam practiced yesterday. Jolly's back practicing again. I'm trying to think who else was injured. It was Jalen Virgil. He was back yesterday at practice. So I think we'll be fine when game time starts. But, again, that's going to be Scott and our doctor's call. But they did practice yesterday.
Sean, I know when you look back at games, you're obviously breaking down offense and defense. I'm just curious, though, when you're looking back at, maybe the energy of the team in a game where they're having to deal with, being down a couple scores and things like that. How do you evaluate that and try to build off of the good things and bad things and move past them?
Well, I think you evaluate everything from the way we left Boone, the way you traveled, where we slept, what we ate for pregame meal, and you evaluate everything. And, again, ultimately it falls down on the head football coach, and that's me. And that's something we can't have in this program. I mean, we didn't play our style of football. We did not play Appalachian football, and it was evident by the score, and everyone saw it on TV. But you have to go back and really, talk about being consistent in football. And that we talk about being committed, and really committed means being consistent. And, you just can't do the small things, big things. And, we're down 14 points at halftime. We just scored right before the half to make it a 14-point game. And, I thought we were still in it. I mean, you go down and score a touchdown, and you're a 7-point game right now. So I thought our guys believed we could win. It got out of hand. And at that point, we're just trying to get out of Louisiana and get back to Boone.
With a game like that and trying to respond from it, is there an added benefit to the super seniors on the team, the guys with a lot of experience on this team, and the way that they can impact this reaction and pivot away?
I think it is to have those guys back. Those guys play a lot of football here, and we look back from 2016 when we first won the conference. We had a conference loss in each of those seasons. So it wasn't like we went undefeated in all those seasons. So the sky's not falling. All of our goals are in front of us. And our goal is to win the Sun Belt Championship. And in order to do that, you have to win the East. And the East is here on Wednesday night. And it's going to be a great game versus two great programs. Coach Chadwell's done a fantastic job. They're undefeated. I mean, they're ranked 14th in the country. And what other way to evaluate your program than playing that kind of competition?
With Cam, I just wanted to make sure, is it still like the dinged ankle thing from after the Marshall game that you mentioned?
It is.
Okay.
Scott would have a better the term for you, if you will, but it's a sore ankle, and he's attacking rehab, and he's trying to get into all the things he can do to play. And like I said, it was a positive feel yesterday watching him practice, watching him run around, and he looked like he had a smile on his face. So those are all good signs.
So is there a concern that it might pivot into a long-term thing, or are you kind of sure that he's going to be over it here soon?
I hope he is. I thought he'd be over against Georgia State. I mean, he came out in pregame, and we weren't sure if he was going to play there, but he wasn't a go. And then Louisiana, he warmed up and gave us that look he couldn't go. So, the one thing I'm never going to do is question our football players. If they're injured, that's something totally different. I mean, that's out of my control. That's something we trust our players with. We trust Scott, our trainer, our doctors, and they have the final say-so on it.
Talking about running back Sean Datrick Harrington back on the field at Lafayette, how did he respond after the game? Knees, you just never know, especially something, as significant as he had. How was he the next day and maybe the days following up after the game?
He was good. We had him on a rep count. We told him we would play anywhere from 10 to 15 plays. I think he played 9 plays in that game, and he wasn't sore the next day. And before the game, I made him tell me he was ready to go because it was going to be his call to play or not. And I'm happy where he is right now. He had another good week of practice, and that gives us the added depth in that room we have to be successful. And in this program, we're going to run the ball first, and we need a good stable of running backs. So we need all those running backs who can come back, and we have to have that. But he'll get more reps this week.
All right, we'll go next to questions on Zoom. We'll start with David Rogers from the Watauga Democrat.
Yeah, Coach. Against Louisiana, you had 2 plays, one involving Corey Sutton and the other Jalen Virgil, where you went send them deep, and they had pretty good separation. What did that tell you about your opportunities going forward with a more vertical game?
We should have called them again. They were wide open, and we just didn't connect. And that's the part about it that's disappointing, that if we hit those 2 long throws down the field, that it could have changed the complexity of the football game. But we didn't do it. And it's about a get-it-done business. I understand that. But I have a lot of confidence in our players still and our coaches. And I'm excited to watch those guys come out and play again this Wednesday and see where it's at. But, our players are resilient. They came out and they practiced their tails off on Tuesday, Wednesday, which would have been a Saturday, Sunday, I believe. And they're excited to play. And you have to have a short memory. And this is college football this year is crazy. And it's the upsets and the guys that are winning the football game aren't turning the football over. And our guys are ready to go out and put a great product on the football field.
The last season, you were ahead of actually Coastal Carolina until the last couple of minutes of the game. What is it about this year's Coastal Carolina team that makes them more competitive, or what's different about them?
Well, a lot of the same players. Again, their scheme gives you some issues. But, again, you have to give Coastal credit. They've built their program, and they're 6-0. I mean, they're undefeated. They've done everything that's been asked of those guys to do and to win all their football games. So, I mean, it's a really good football team, and we'll have our work cut out for us, but it's a challenge we look forward to.